good morning. Today I would like to present our mini research of mode of transportation. So for the introduction, by the way, my name is Muhammad Fauzan bin Mat Sani. I'm doing chapter 1 introduction. For the move 1, the central issue of becoming a student is about transportation. How to reach to the campus effectively, efficiently by using any kind of transportations. But we can't deny that Malaysians have a very efficient public transportation. Towards 2020, Malaysians target to have very convenient, very efficient, very effective public transportations. As that, Malaysia also focusing on for reduction of the traffic congestions and also air pollution causes by using the private public transportations. In that case, why Malaysia tend aggressively to improve the public transportations. As the Minister of the User of Transportations is Ajit Jo. Ajit Jo says target users of public transports are young consumers as they don't have their own transport like students, because as we know, most of the students don't have their own transportations. So for the move to objective of the research that we can see that many researchers have studies about the factors that public choosing of their mode of the transportations and the factor that influence them to choose that kind of transportations. But lack of the research studies about how the Unirazak students choose their mode of transportations to reach to the campus in this heart of KL. So for the move 3, this purpose of the studies, we will determine what kind of transportation that Unirazak students are most used to reach to the campus, and also we want to ask the satisfaction of Unirazak students by using that transport, and also the factor why they choose that kind of the transportations. That's all for the introduction.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. So my name is Muhammad Rizwan bin Hashim. I am doing chapter 2, literature review of our research, which is mode of transportation. So for the introduction, the view of Cambridge Dictionary about transportation means the movement of people of good from one place to another. At the point of view, transportation is all about any device used to move an item from another to another location. Common form of transportation include plane, train, automobile, and other two-wheel device such as bike or motorcycle. The French mathematician Mont 1781 formalized the problem of transportation. The tremendous advances were made in the field in the midst of World War II by the Soviet or Russian mathematician and money related to the master Leonid Kantorovich. Kantorovich transportation problem. Kantorovich 1942 published a paper on continuous version of problem, and later with Gathering and applied study of the capacitized transportation problem, Kantorovich and Gathering 1949. The other iteration for transportation, which is Origin of Transportation by Hitchcock 1941, present a study entitled The Distribution of a Product from Several Sources to Numerous Local Cities. This presentation is considered the first important contribution to the solution of transportation problem. So, next for mode of transportation. Transportation is very important to any person as they want to go to anywhere. The mode of transportation is based on their capability to get the transport and it's easier to go to their destination. Since Kuala Lumpur is really known as a bustling and a crowded town, so people in this town really need to choose their transport wisely to go their transportation. The problem occurred when they need to deal with traffic jam, toll and parking fees at their place. From the statistic of commuter mode choice, free parking and public transportation benefit, we stated that 70.1% drove alone, 24.1% rode public transportation, and 4.1% walk and 1.6% cycle. Most of people who stay in this bustling town will choose a transportation that does not burden them while in working hours. Okay, while we are doing research for the mode of transportation, we are also looking forward for the factors of transportation problem. So, according to Newman and Kentworth, 1999, who stated that automobiles not only the focus of transportation system, but they are all very often push the planning decision making process. So, from the research, we knew that transportation is really important to us, since it will affect our decision making every day. Whether we are taking public transportation or bring our own car, we still need to decide a decision. There are many factors of transportation such as speed, punctuality issue, inconvenience of LRT station, poor service and safety concern. Poinsett and Tour 2001 has stated that due to the federal requirement concerning air quality, increasing congestion, lack of land for parking, the high cost of constructing parking structure, pressure to reduce traffic impact on financial resources, many universities applied appealing solution to alleviate congestion and improve safety for all campus users. Due to these factors of transportation problem, there are many research has been conducted to find a solution for every problem. So, from the factors of transportation problem, we know there are some effects of transportation problem also. So, according to Tony, 1996, argued that the major environmental impacts of transportation on college campus include disturbance to teach, loss of natural environment and greenery, depletion of the visual environment by parking provision, and health effect on staff and students. Besides, Malaysians who drove car to campus also have some effects that we will affect. So, Process 2001 also stated that car-based transportation has many hidden costs, especially in terms of fuel and car maintenance. It is also expensive and inefficient over short distance and is a major contributor to global warming. The current issue about this transportation problem include the fees that they need to pay for the parking. The study of Kennedy 1995 stated that university is a group of administrators, faculty and students held together by a common grievance over parking. Lastly, Dober 2002 has suggested accident can occur because of speeding, missing type of traffic, poor of right-of-way design, and college age use propensity to ride outside the roads designed for bicycle and to ignore traffic rules and regulations. Okay, lastly, for the conclusion. So we have made many research to compare with our next research. So the similarity for the other researchers, which is the first, the mode of transportation. So they are doing research for people who drove car and using public transportation, bicycle and walk. Then the problem faced during the peak hour and about the transportation that they use. The problem such as car maintenance, fuel, parking fees, toll and traffic jam. Then the effect of transportation problem, since they are focusing on the busy road in the big city. Basically, we are using Kuala Lumpur as the the main road for our research. So next, the different from other researchers, we have identified all the aspects for the mode of transportation before we conduct a survey. So our gaps for our research is identify the mode of transportation used by Unirazak student to reach to the campus.
Hi, I'm Rafika Izzati, so I'll be doing chapter 3, which is methodology. So first, we'll be talking about overview of the experiment. We are using questionnaire for our experiment to determine the mode of transportation used by students to come to the campus. Next, research design. Research design, what we have learned in class, we know that there are two research design, which is quantitative and qualitative. So basically, we are using quantitative research design. So quantitative is used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data that can be transformed into usable statistics. So this method can be used through polls, questionnaire, survey, or by manipulating pre-existing statistical data using computational technique. So we are actually using questionnaire as our tools. Next, we will be talking about population of the study. So for our study, we are focusing on Unirazak student, which will be conducted only in this building. Next, we'll talk about population sample. So for our questionnaire, we are focusing our questionnaire to be given to 50 students in Unirazak, which including students from Foundation, TASOK and BRSBE. Our questionnaire will be given equally, 25 for male student and 25 for female student. And our questionnaire will be given to students which in the age of 19 until 22 years old and above. So for our sampling technique, we are using systematic sampling technique. And our main target for our questionnaire, we have divided into two equal number of gender, which is 25 for male and 25 for female. And we are here to ensure that our questionnaire are be given to 25% of total student of Unirazak population, because we are only providing 50 questionnaire. And we are using questionnaire and quantitative information as our sampling technique because it is quantifiable and easy to understand. And our questionnaire also divided into 3 sections, which is in section A, B and C. For limitation, we are actually lack of time. That is the only problem that we are afraid to doing our research. Since we need to find students to answer our questionnaire, and they need also to provide their time to be given to us. It will be a problem for us. Next, for data collection procedure, we are using structured questionnaire, and our questionnaire are personally and physically delivered to the respondent in a paper, which is we will be given to our questionnaire by paper. We didn't use any online, or we didn't use any website to be given by phone or internet. Next, we will be given our respondent 10 minutes to answer our questionnaire, and there are voluntarily and no incentive for completion of it, which is we are not forcing them to answer our question. We will be talking about statistical treatment, which is in our questionnaire. We are using average weighted mean to determine the assessment of the respondent with regard to their perception and about their transportation. And lastly, we will be talking about data analysis. Here we will analyze all of the input by using quantitative method, and data that have been collected will be analyzed and interpreted into statistical diagrams such as pie chart and bar chart, which will be shown in chapter 4 later. Thank you.
I'm Rafika Izzati. So now I will present the results and findings survey that has been distributed to 50 people. So I will present based on three sections, which is section A is the demographic data, section B the student preference, and section C the student's perception. For section A, for the first question, we ask about the age of the respondent. So based on the bar chart, it is shown clearly that most of our respondent is 20 years old and above in total. It is very important actually to present or to show that our data is reliable as it is answered by mature people. So next, the second question. The second question is about the gender of the respondent. So as we have distributed, we decided to distribute equally to 25 male and 25 female to enhance the reliability of the data. Next, question 3. The nationality of respondent. So we have distributed all the questionnaire to all the Malaysian students. For the fourth question, we asked about the year of study of the respondent. So most of our respondent is from the first year, which is 62%, and 22% is from second year, and 60% is from the third year. For the last question in our demographic data, we asked about the program studied by the respondents. So from the bar chart, it is shown clearly that most of our respondent is from the RSBE faculty, which is 27 students, and the least is from foundation program, which is 10 people only. Next, we move to section B, the student's preference. For the first question, we asked about the distance from respondent's home to the campus. So we have converted the data into a bar chart, and it shows clearly that most of the students is staying 4 km to 6 km away from home, which is about 24 students. Next, the type of transportation used every day by the respondent to go to the campus. So based on the data, we know that most of the respondent is using public transport to go to the campus, and none of them is walking to the campus. Next, daily transportation fee by respondent. So as we have to draw a line graph, it is showing that most of them has spent 3 to 5 ringgit every day for transportation fee. And then for the fourth question, we have identified that 62% satisfied with their current transportation, meanwhile 38% is not satisfied with their current transportation. The fifth question, we asked about the respondents' preference on free transportation provided by Unirazak from main station to campus. So 72% agree on this suggestion, meanwhile 28% is not agree with this suggestion. That's about the respondents' opinion on Unirazak's new campus location. So most of them is saying that the new location is strategic, which is about 29 respondents. They say it is strategic. So meanwhile, for about 21 respondents say that it is not strategic. In section B, we asked about the respondents' frequency to drive to the campus. Then, relevance with our previous question about the type of transportation used every day, like most of them is using public transport. This question shows that most of them also never drive to the campus, and but the very least is the respondents drive once a month or more. And then about the respondents' opinion on the relevance of charges for parking. So 90% of them is not agree with the charges. Meanwhile, 10% agree with the charges. The students' preference to use public transport if other transportation fee offered at lower rate. At this question, we can see that most of the students prefer to use public transport even if the transportation fee is offered at lower rate. Proof that most of them is really like to use public transport, which is 30 students. Meanwhile, 20 students did not agree. Section, we asked if whether the students mind on paying for a car park space. So 66% from the 50 respondents say no, they do not want to pay for a car park space. Meanwhile, 34 students said yes. Section, which is section C. In this section, we ask more about the students' perception, which is firstly we ask about the students' choice of mode of transportation that they want to use and the reason why they choose that transport. So for the first question, there are three kinds of transportation chosen by the respondent, which is car, motorcycle, public transport. However, we can see clearly on the bar chart that most of them is prefer to use public transport, which is 24 out of 50 people choose. Then for next question, we ask easy to travel from home to campus by using that transport. 22 out of 50 people strongly agree that their choice of transportation is very easy to travel. In the pie chart that 50% of the respondents choose the transport because it is very convenient. 22 people also agree that they choose public transport because it is fast. They want the fastest way to go to the campus. And then ask about the transportation fare compared to others. They agree. There are 36% agree that they choose the transport because it is a lower rate compared to others. For the last question in this session, most of them agree that they choose the transport because of the safety. They tend to think that they choose the transport because it is safe from any road accident, which is, as we see in the bar chart, 19 out of 50 people agree with it. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nurul Syamil Syahira. So for this survey, I'm doing for chapter 5, which is discussion and conclusion. So firstly, for the discussion, in this survey, we conduct the survey in Unirazak within the Unirazak student, which is Razakian. So the survey is we provide the survey for foundation student, and then for Faculty of Tasawuf, which is Tun Abdul Razak School of Government, and lastly for Faculty of BRSPE, which is Merakyat School of Business and Entrepreneurship. Next, so in this survey, we know that majority of students live about 4 km to 6 km, followed by 7 km and above, and lastly followed by 1 km to 3 km. So, So from the survey that we conduct, we know that most of the students in this Unirazak are using LRT because as we know, the student have the LRT student card, which is this way the student can save more money. And then LRT also is the convenient transportation. So the student doesn't have to face a traffic jam when they are going to the class in the morning because everyone wants to go to the work, to the school, to the university also. So they just going to the LRT and just follow the schedule of LRT. And then when they want to going back to home, also don't have to face a traffic jam because at that time it's a peak hour when everyone also want to going back after work. Okay, next, the result indicated that most of half of Unirazak students is driving car, which is students who live far away from Unirazak, which is 7 km and above, usually use car to reach to Unirazak, which is because at their home, near at their house, they have a public transport, and they said that that way they're easy to move in any weather, anytime and anywhere. Okay, and then when it's raining, the student who's driving car don't have to walk in the LRT because they have a car. So next, for the recently Unirazak have drafted a new rules, which is every car that enter in Unirazak space need to pay the parking fee. This thing will be burden for students because they don't have a specific income or fixed income because they're just a student. Okay, then we move on to students who riding motorcycle to go to the Unirazak. Okay. This stated also students who live far away from Unirazak, but with also those who live near to Unirazak. It is because they feel they can move fast in traffic jam from the people who drive in the car because they need to face a traffic jam. And then for those students that live near to Unirazak, they think they can save their time by riding a motorcycle from they need to walk or need to wait for the train to reach here. Okay, so now we are in the conclusion. So the aim of this survey we conduct is we want to know the mode of transportation used by Razakian. So our goal to identify the mode of transportation used by Razakian has been reached. We know that right now the highest mode of transportation used by Razakian is public transport, which is LRT, because it is convenient and a cheapest transportation. Next, for those who driving car and riding motorcycle, it is also have benefit and also need to have an improvisation to make all students feel satisfied with every mode of transportation that they choose to come to Unirazak. So with that, thank you.